Yeah. Let me take you to a place where the newer you have resided. Remove you from the flesh where the righteous always collided. I don't believe in culture, we steady being misguided to lead you back to a place where you only see us divided. I'm only here to tell you nothing but truth. I don't care about the good you do, I study your fruits. And I don't think I'm over you, but let me take this time to answer. Since I believe in God, I'm held to a higher standard. A soldier with holy manners in the spiritual army. We all need discernment, cause the evil spirit is charming. God with me when I step out. I don't care about what you care about. My faith got me flexing, I might just win me a sandout. Rebuke the strongholds, I pray you get released. Forget money, cars, and clothes, I need love, joy, and peace. Woke up with a new ID. Yes, I've been transformed, so the patterns of this world, I really can't be conformed. And I say,
I done had my ups and downs, but I can see we gaining ground. Yeah, things are looking better now. The world around me living fast, and I'm no longer like my past. Yeah, things are looking better now. I once was blind, but now I see. I thank you for my new ID, God, yeah. Things are looking better now. Don't wanna be the same, I can't be stuck if I ain't grows. I pray that I stay focused till I walk the streets of gold.
We all have a testimony, but the Bible let us know that you can plant the seed, but only God can make it grow. So you gotta reach a place where God say it's time to grow. So if you still lacking faith, who fault is that? You let me know. Self-control is what I pray for. Have you prayed for that? Nah, you ain't prayed for that, cause you ain't came for that. You go to God for only money, you won't stay for that. Somebody lukewarm, I just can't be the same as that. That's lame in fact. Lord have mercy, forgive me for sounding churchy. I just wanna break the link to the chain to whatever cursed me. I done had fam set up and killed for no good reason. We don't wrestle flesh and blood, they operated by demons. I don't play the same music, I don't watch the same movies. I ain't drinking, I ain't smoking, I'm not doing what y'all doing. And finding out my purpose became more than a blessing. And nothing here was by force, I just never found it impressive. Look,
I done had my ups and downs, but I can see we gaining ground. Yeah, things are looking better now. The world around me living fast, and I'm no longer like my past. Yeah, things are looking better now. I once was blind, but now I see. I thank you for my new ID, God, yeah. Things are looking better now. Don't wanna be the same, I can't be stuck if I ain't froze. I pray that I stay focused till I walk the streets of gold. Whoa.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to ARP in the morning. It's your brother Wise, man. I appreciate you guys pulling up, man. Grace and peace to each and every one of you guys, man. I hope all is well on this Friday Eve, this Thursday morning. Shout out to you guys, man. I appreciate you all pulling up as always. What's going on, Israel? It's good to see you in the chat this morning. Appreciate you guys, man. You guys are a blessing to me. I don't know if you guys understand it, but the people that consistently pull up and come hang out with us every morning, you guys don't know how much you bless me just by, being here and fellowshipping and just contributing to what we're doing over here, man. I appreciate you all. I really do. And I don't take it for granted at all. I do not take it for granted. I'm so thankful. So thankful. So today is Thursday. We have, one more day to the weekend. Well, I guess technically two, because most of us are either in the beginning of our workday or just getting the workday started. So I appreciate you guys, man. I hope you all have a great day. And if you're off today, God bless you, man. Enjoy the off day. Let me show some love to my folks in the chat. We have a really good show today. Hit the like button for me if you haven't done so already. We do have a goal set inside of the stream. If we can hit that goal, we will open it up for call-ins today on this fine Thursday morning. Shout out to Lori Ottison. Shout out to you, sister. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. And y'all make sure y'all follow Lori Ottison's instructions. She says, remember to hit that daggone like button on the way in the building. What up, Sugar Shane? What's going on, Robert Brooks? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What up, Soul Driver? How you doing this morning? What's up, Zephyr K9? It's good to see you. What's up, Hadassah Inspires Us? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What up, Donald Lovejoy? Appreciate you. What up, Larry Montgomery? We got my guy Hunter in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you. What up, B? Appreciate you pulling up this morning, sister. Hope all is well with you. Hope all is well. Getting rested. I know you've been, country traveling, and I know you're back at the house now. So, hey, rest up. Rest up. As y'all know, Hunter always comes through with the Bible verse of the day. So I want to share that with you all. It says, may the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. Romans chapter 15, verse 13. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you very much, Hunter. What up, Luby Fishing? Appreciate you pulling up. What up, Malachi? How's it going this morning, brother? Grace and peace to you. Be safe out there in Flint, Michigan. Be safe out there, brother. What up, Cool Ramon? How you doing this morning, brother? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What up, Toy Mafia? What's up, Leslie? What up, Kevin Caldwell? Good morning to you. What's up, Marcy Richards? What's going on, JJ O'Hara? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What up, AI? What's going on, Ed? How you doing this morning? It's good to see you. What's up, Nancy? Good morning to you. Mama Sunflower Cottage, little house in the Dale. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Hope all is well. What's up, Nelly? How you doing this morning? We got Sandra, is it Schwinky? Hopefully I pronounced that properly. Kentucky in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you. The Screaming Elf in the building. Shout out to you. What's up, Ryan Stegall? Sorry about that. Appreciate you pulling up. Amber Young in the building. What's up, Angela Montgomery? Happy birthday. Y'all make sure y'all show Angela Montgomery some love this morning. Today is her birthday. October, babies. Man, early. October 2nd. Look at you. What do you got going on today? Let us know in the chat. What's your plans for today? What do you got going on? Maybe it is Thursday, so maybe you're doing something tomorrow or over the weekend. I know how that works. And maybe you're like LJ and you're just going to celebrate the entire month. Who knows? I don't know. God bless you. God bless you. Happy birthday to you, Angela. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your month. Oh, man. All right. Y'all make sure y'all show Angela some love in the chat for her birthday, man. Y'all make sure y'all do that. Who else we got up in here? What's up, Omega? Grace and peace to you as well. Appreciate you pulling up. What's up, Papa Died? Upstate South Cac in the building. What up, Steve? How you doing this morning? Appreciate you pulling up. Steve said, I just want to say your Super Bowl halftime was good when Kiss was on. I don't remember what Super Bowl that was when it was Kiss. I don't remember. And I don't even remember that particular Super Bowl halftime show. What's up, Dion? How you doing this morning? Appreciate you pulling up. Appreciate you pulling up. How is the search going? Or even better, are you grinding on the channel now? I got to send you a message. We had a mastermind meeting the other day. I got to make sure I add you to that. I will do that if you remind me or shoot me a message to remind me, because once I get through with this, I'll forget. Getting through all of this, it will slip my mind. But Dion, shoot me an email. We have a mastermind group. If you want to be a part of it, I will add you to the calendar invite. So send that over to me. Hopefully you are grinding on the channel. I hope that is the case. What's up, Deborah Carver? How you doing this morning? Chad, big pun in the building. Shout out to you. What's up, Chad Winstead? What's going on? Summer Sky, appreciate you pulling up this morning. Appreciate you pulling up. What's up, Kristen Knight? How you doing this morning? Appreciate you pulling up. Did I miss somebody? All right, it's 420 Wood. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. We got Mr. Largy in the building. Shout out to you. Mike One Son Boom. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What's up, Jane Fecto? How you doing this morning? Appreciate you pulling up. We got Tinkerbell in the building. Shout out to you. What's up, Delinda House? We got BWR in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up. Selfie Roth. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you very much. What up, Luke McCain? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Yeah, my guy Israel Pena in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning, brother. It's good to see you. Been a little bit. I don't think I've seen you in the chat in a while. What's up, Donald Vick? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What up, Chester? How's it going this morning, brother? Taxachusetts in the building. All righty. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. What's up, C. Bergie? How you doing this morning? It's good to see you. What up, Deb Longo? How's it going this morning? It's good to see you. All right, what's going on, Marla? How you doing this morning? Hope all is well. AK Bauer in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. All right. First super chat of the day. Shout out to Big Moen, or is it Big Mo? Is it Big Mo in Arizona? Is that what that is? Let me know if I'm correct. Big Mo in Arizona. That's got to be it. That's got to be it. Shout out to you. Big Mo in Arizona says, good morning to you all. Okay. Outstanding. Thank you for the $5 super chat, brother. Appreciate that. I got it now. Big Mo. And I won't use the in Arizona. We'll just say Big Mo. Appreciate you. What's up, Abby Hawk? How you doing this morning? Appreciate you pulling up. What up, Angel R? What's going on? We got Leslie Aaron in the building. Is that a new picture? Changing it up. Grace and peace to you. What up, Shelly Bolton? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Pam W in the building out of Texas. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What up, Joseph Orsini? It's good to see you, brother. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Who else we got up in here? Oh, Angela says she leaving work at noon. Sisters are taking me to my favorite restaurant. Let me go and throw that up there. Taking her to her favorite restaurant. Thanks for all the wonderful blessings. Outstanding. What's the favorite restaurant? Let us know. Hey, I'm cheap. My favorite restaurant is Waffle House. I don't need much. Waffle House. We don't have Waffle Houses out here around me. You got to drive at least an hour in either direction to get to a Waffle House. That's just too daggone far to drive for Waffle House. But when I go to Georgia, oh my goodness, or when I go down south, or when I'm anywhere where there is a Waffle House around, if it's time to eat, I'm going to Waffle House. I'm just letting y'all know. I am a huge fan of Waffle House. I've always loved Waffle House. So anytime I get the opportunity to hit a Waffle House, I'm going. Shout out to Joseph Orsini. Appreciate the $5 super chat, man. Thank you very much. Says, good morning, ARP family. Love to you all. Thank you very much, Joseph, man. Appreciate you supporting the channel this morning, man. Hit that like button for me if you have not done so already. What up, RJ Hudson? How's it going this morning? Good to see you in this morning. South Cac in the building. What up, Kenneth? How's it going this morning? Kenneth Moles in the house. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning, brother. What's up, Jasmine? How you doing this morning? It's good to see you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Uh-oh, Seabergy. Seabergy out here showing her age. Says she saw a Kiss concert in the 80s. What's up, Patsy Hutchison? How's it going this morning? Appreciate you pulling up. What up, LJ Taylor? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Appreciate you pulling up. Says she's in Plano, Texas. Okay. I can dig it. What up, Mike C? How's it going this morning, brother? It's good to see you. We got Allie Bandy. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. What up, Shelby Died? How's it going this morning? Good to see you this morning. All right. All right, we got Leslie Aaron out here upgrading the picks and stuff. You know what I'm saying? B says she make her own waffles now. And if I eat at Waffle House, I take my own maple syrup. B, don't be out here being bougie. Do not be out here being bougie. Nothing wrong with the Waffle House syrup. Nothing wrong with it. Seriously. Nothing wrong with the Waffle House syrup, man. Come on now. Don't do me like that. All righty. All right, so let's get the show started. Hit the like button for me if you haven't done so already. Hit that like button for me. Oh, Nanny, I know you're on that carnivore pancakes. What's a carnivore pancake? I'm not familiar. Be pulling out the hot sauce in the purse. Now I'm actually okay with that. I'm actually okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the hot sauce in the purse. I'm good with that. All right, we're gonna get the show started, but I gotta let you guys know that the show today is brought to you by our sponsor, Chapter. Oh, I gotta remove that real fast. Brought to you by our sponsor, Chapter. If you or someone that you love is on Medicare, hey, reach out to Chapter today, okay? Call the number 504-506-0860. They can help you navigate the Medicare plans out there. They can help you do that. So reach out to them. They've been known to save the average senior about $1,000 a year on their premiums. So check them out. Go over to Chapter today. Give them a call, 504-506-0860. Reach out to them. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free. It's free. Again, I got to say it. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything to give them a call and get some help. All right? Hit the like button. We're going to get the show started right now. Let me get that out of here. All right. Perfect. Perfect. Appreciate you guys. Shout out to Nothing Is Ever Real. Says, yo, NYC here. Here volunteering for Republican mayor candidate Curtis Silva. Sorry about that. For NYC mayor, making phone calls and doing door knocking. It ain't easy. Oh, I'm sure it's not easy. But shout out to you, man. Shout out to you out there. Shout out to you being willing to get out there and help. That's awesome. There's a lot of folks that talk. Most people aren't willing to get out there and do anything, So shout out to you, man. That's awesome. All right, let's get the show started.
Republican who's gone on TV the last 12 hours or so has called this the Schumer shutdown. What do you say about that name? Senator Schumer, can you hear me?
I can't hear.
Senator Schumer, can you hear me? I don't think Senator Schumer can hear me right now. Maybe the government shutdown included audio on Capitol Hill.
So the government shutdown, it went in full effect yesterday. And what we're witnessing in Washington is a complete meltdown of political theater mixed with some of the pettiest antics that we've ever seen. Democrats, they came out swinging with their talking points, saying that Republicans are on some unprecedented assault against health care of the American people. That's what they said. I mean, leave it to Timu Barack Obama, Leave it to Timu Barack Obama. Come on now. Y'all already know.
Our approach, and Leader Schumer and I are in lockstep. House Democrats, Senate Democrats are in lockstep. We're heading into the meeting to have a good faith negotiation about landing the plane in a way that avoids a government shutdown, but does not continue the Republican assault on the health care of the American people.
I tell you, man, these people, man, they're something else, to say the least, right? They're framing this entire fight as if it's about saving people's lives, while at the same time refusing to admit what they're really holding the government hostage over. And of course, they can't help but cry racism whenever President Trump posts memes or AI-generated videos mocking their leadership. The outrage machine goes into full overdrive. Y'all know it. But the reality is that these are the same people who have no problem circulating degrading memes about Republicans, When the jokes are aimed at them, though, all of a sudden it's bigotry and a scandal. So I want to talk about the government shutdown itself. What started as Democrats accusing Trump of being a dictator somehow morphed into them demanding billions of dollars, upwards into the trillions range, for healthcare benefits for illegal immigrants. And now, after that went nowhere, they're now just pretending that all they want is affordable healthcare for Americans. But let's not forget what they really want. I mean, we got to take a look at this, man, because Senator Schumer, back in June, this is what he stated. I want you guys to see this, but give me a second here.
GOP lawmakers have defended some of their budget bills, Medicaid reforms, by highlighting preliminary CBO projections of roughly 1.4 million illegal immigrants losing their coverage under state-funded health programs. Is reducing federal Medicaid payments to states that provide coverage to undocumented immigrants a reform that you would support?
The bottom line is this overall bill is so awful. If they want to aim, if they got some specific issues, aim it. Don't just do a meat axe or a chainsaw across the board and cut everything. I don't know if their numbers are accurate. These are GOP numbers, but it doesn't matter.
GOP lawmakers.
Yeah, so what this fight is about the Democrats wanting illegals to have access to free health care. I don't know about you guys, but my health care isn't free. The health care for my family is not free. It's never been free. Never. But that's what this is about, ultimately. But that was back in June. Maybe something has changed at this point. Let's try to give them the benefit of the doubt. I mean, we could try. But Hakeem Jeffries, he went back on CNN last night, and I would assume that he probably regretted going out there. That would be my assumption.
Blessed it as well. Blessed it as well.
So let me ask you about a provision that the Republicans are talking about quite a bit. I know you want to talk about, and Democrats want to talk about, extending the Obamacare subsidies, which expire at the end of 2025. But they talk about the provisions, and it's right here, subtitle E, and this has to do with the repeal of health care subtitle changes, and specifically what it is. How they characterize it is, you want to give health insurance to undocumented immigrants. I understand that's not really an accurate depiction, but what it does do is...
It's a lie.
It's a lie, but what you support does bring back funding for emergency Medicaid to hospitals, some of which does pay for undocumented immigrants and people who don't have health insurance. And also there is this provision, and it's not about undocumented immigrants, it's about people with asylum seekers and people with temporary protected status, et cetera, but about their ability to get Medicaid. So they're non-citizens, they're not undocumented, they're not illegal. Why even include that in a bill knowing that they're going to seize right upon that and use that to message? I understand that.
Yeah, so imagine how bad it is. Imagine how bad it has to be when even Jake Tapper calls you, and we know what that guy is about. When you get called out by Jake Tapper, yeah, it's a problem. And let's be clear. Let's be clear here on the word games. Illegals, asylum seekers, undocumented, different label, same problem, same people. The asylum loophole is a Democrat creation. Republicans were willing to negotiate months ago, but with one red line: no free health care for illegal immigrants. Democrats didn't get their way, so they dragged this out until the clock ran out, staging a political showdown to pin the blame on the president. Meanwhile, the media ran cover for him. First, they insisted the bill didn't give illegals free health care. They insisted it didn't. Then they pivoted. The proposal was about protecting millions of Americans from losing coverage. But that was never the issue. The real fight was over taxpayer-funded benefits for those who came here illegally. Here's Mike Johnson breaking it down.
The Democratic proposal is designed to prevent millions of Americans from losing their health insurance, losing Medicaid coverage, or paying higher health care premiums. Why are you against that?
That's an absurd statement, what you said there. Let's be clear about what happened last night, George. No, George, let me tell you what happened last night. Everybody can go and review the facts for themselves. 44 Senate Democrats voted to reject a clean, nonpartisan continuing funding resolution to keep the United States government open. The Democrats said instead that they wanted to give health care to illegal aliens instead of keeping critical services provided for the American citizens. That's what happened, plain and simple. Every Democrat in the House, except one, voted against the clean continuing resolution. It was nonpartisan in nature. There are no policy riders on it that Republicans favored. It's exactly what Chuck Schumer and other Democrats voted for in March. But they've changed their tune. They changed their tune because Chuck Schumer is having political problems right now. That's just a simple fact, and everybody knows it. He's trying to outrun the far left portion of his base, so he's decided to inflict pain on the American people. That's the reality of what we're facing.
Here are the facts. The proposal does not provide health care for illegal immigrants. Illegal immigrants cannot buy health care under the Affordable Care Act. They cannot receive health care subsidies. No. Illegal immigrants are ineligible for Medicare, Medicaid, and the Children's Health Program. The Democratic bill does not make them eligible.
Classic Washington move. Classic mainstream media move. Cut off Speaker Johnson so the fact checkers can claim that he's lying. But who's really telling the truth? Before the so-called big beautiful bill introduced penalties at least 14 states, to include DC, were already using state funds to provide Medicaid style coverage for illegal immigrants. Some even tapped federal programs for reimbursement until the big beautiful bill shut it down. And Democrats, they want to bring it back. So traditionally, shutdown fights were about restraining spending. This time around, though, Democrats are driving a shutdown to increase spending, reviving pandemic-era subsidies and loosening restrictions tied to illegal immigration. They'll play word games, parolee, lawfully present, which fund covers, but the result is the same. Billions in new cost. When Republicans refused to rubber stamp these subsidies, Democrats, they didn't negotiate. They pulled the emergency brake, manufactured a crisis, and unleashed the shutdown hysteria. That's what they did. But that's who they are as well.
It's deeply offensive that the president is threatening to fire federal workers if we can't reach an agreement without offering any meaningful solutions here. The president continues to threaten those workers, but please know, if you're a civil servant in the state of Maryland, know that we have your back as a team. That's why we're here today, to announce all the ways that our offices can continue to deliver for you each and every day. The federal government might be shut down, but our offices are working. We will answer every phone call. We will respond to it. It's deeply offensive that the president.
Yeah. Shutdowns always come, they always come down to one question. Who blinks first? And this time, Democrats are boxed in. They're the party of government. Their base donors and unions depend on federal paychecks, subsidies, and programs. Republicans don't. That gives Trump leverage. But let's be real. When Washington shuts down, most of it keeps running. Military, law enforcement, Social Security, Medicare, air traffic control, border operations, all of those things continue because they're considered essential. In past shutdowns, though, 2/3 to 3/4 of the federal workers still work, funded by mandates or essential designations. I mean, is it disruptive? Yes. Is it doomsday, the end of the world? No. And this time, the White House is signaling that when it's over, not everything just flips back on. That's not cruelty, though. That's what you would call budgeting. And as Vice President J.D. Vance put it, the left keeps shifting demands. But they all boil down to one thing: spend more now, including on immigration-linked benefits, or scare people into thinking that their lives will grind to a halt. Simple as that. That's where we are right now. That's where the Democrat Party is right now.
A very frank conversation with the Senate and House Democratic leadership. Look, the principle at stake here is very simple. We have disagreements about tax policy, but you don't shut that government down. We have disagreements about health care policy, but you don't shut the government down. You don't use your policy disagreements as leverage to not pay our troops, to not have essential services of government actually function. You don't say the fact that you disagree about a particular tax provision is an excuse for shutting down the people's government and all the essential services that come along with it. If you look at what Chuck Schumer has said in the past consistently, it's whatever our disagreements are, let's negotiate with them. Let's talk about them. Let's figure out a bipartisan solution, but you don't shut the government down. In other words, you don't put a gun to the American people's head and say, unless you do exactly what Senate and House Democrats want you to do, we're going to shut down your government. That's exactly what they're proposing out there. Now, we have to remember, they're very frustrated. They say that they're very frustrated about the fact that this negotiation has not taken place until today. But if you look at the original thing they did with this negotiation, it was a $1.5 trillion spending package, basically saying to the American people, we want to give massive amounts of money, hundreds of billions of dollars to illegal aliens for their health care while Americans are struggling to pay their health care bills. That was their initial foray into this negotiation. We thought it was absurd. We told them it was absurd, and now they come in here saying that if you don't give us everything that we want, we're going to shut down the government. We think that's preposterous. We think it's totally unacceptable, and we think the American people are going to suffer because these guys won't do the right thing. Now, I want to make one final point here. You will hear a lot from Senate Democrats, from House Democrats about the fact that American health care policy is broken. Well, we know that American health care policy is broken. We've been trying to fix it for the 8 months that we've been in office, but every single thing that they accuse about being broken about American health care is policy the Democrats have supported for the past decade. So if they want to talk about how to fix American health care policy, let's do it. The Speaker would love to do it. The Senate Majority Leader would love to do it. Let's work on it together, but let's do it in the context of an open government that's providing essential services to the American people. That's all that we're proposing to do, and the fact that they refuse to do that shows how unreasonable their position is. I think we're headed to a shutdown because the Democrats won't do the right thing. I hope they change their mind, but we're going to see.
I don't know about you guys, but J.D. Vance, I think, has a very, very good chance to be the 48th president, man. I mean, the way he's coming across, I know it's been a short time that the current administration has been in play, but every opportunity that he has received to showcase himself, on the national stage and on the world stage, he has done a good job in comparison to the previous vice president that we had, that we can't say the same about, right? Right. But my question is, will the Democrats do it? It remains to be seen. Seriously, it remains to be seen. But take notice of who's already blinking. Purple state Democrats, they don't want to own a shutdown over, boutique progressive priorities. And when your talking point boils down to pay more or we'll punish you with closures, you are not negotiating. That's not what you call negotiating. You're basically taking hostages. And that's why voter polls show deep skepticism of this tactic. Ordinary Americans grasp at the absurdity of shutting down the government now to save a subsidy that doesn't even lapse until next year. Even though it seems like Democrat leaders don't have the same level of discernment. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, you would say that it's insane. This is insanity.
Now, I know the leader is going to show a poll that says that Democrats will be blamed for the shutdown. There are many more polls that show Republicans are blamed. The question in that poll is biased. Biased. In the New York Times, but it's biased. If you turn the That's true. I don't always believe the New York Times. You can be sure of that. Neither do you. Okay.
And just shake your head, man. Now they don't believe the New York Times. I mean, it's interesting timing, given that they just came out with a poll that shows that 65% of Americans don't want to see Democrats shut down the government, and that includes roughly half of the Democrats. I got to show y'all this because this poll is out here. Let me see if I can pull it up in a way that makes sense. Maybe this one. Okay, maybe we'll use this one. But I want you guys to see this because, I mean, it doesn't seem like it's going too well for Schumer and Jeffries. It doesn't. And you know what's sort of funny? AOC is now coming out telling Senate Republicans to negotiate with her directly. I covered this on the video I put out yesterday. I just find this hilarious, man. Seriously. This lady is, last I checked, she's still a representative, right? Not a great one either. You know, she's still a representative. But she's out here all sassy, telling folks that, hey, y'all need to come sit down and negotiate with her. Like she has the power or something. Like she has the juice.
And I saw some Republican members of Congress saying, oh, well, if we have this shutdown, it's because of AOC. Well, if that's the case, my office is open and you are free to walk in and negotiate with me directly. Because what I'm not going to do is tolerate 4 million uninsured Americans because Donald Trump decided one day that he wants to just make sure that kids are dying because they don't have access to insurance. That's what's not going to happen. And so if those senators think that we're having a shutdown because of me, they're free to enter my office and negotiate, because what we're not going to do is allow all of millions of people in this country to not be able to afford their insulin and their chemotherapy. So come strike a deal with me if that's what they really think is good.
Oh, AOC. She's the idea of someone that thinks that she's more important than what she actually is. I mean, this is incredible, man. Incredible. I cracked up laughing the first time I saw it yesterday. I was like, what in the world is wrong with this lady? Seriously. I mean, first of all, she's not a senator. This has nothing to do with folks in the House. The only person that really should be talking about this is the Speaker of the House, which is Mike Johnson. Other than that, we don't need to hear from anybody else in the House of Representatives. We don't need to hear from anybody else in the House of Representatives. This lady's not a senator. But this goes to show you, it just goes to show that the Democrats are scrambling. And they know it doesn't look good for them. They know this isn't a good look. Y'all shutting the government down, one, over subsidies that don't even expire until next year. Two, for people that shouldn't even be in the country in the first place. Make that make sense, man. I mean, this is insanity. But I want to quickly talk about one of the biggest blows Democrats just took in this shutdown, though. Just took in this shutdown because the Trump administration, through the Office of Management and Budget, announced that billions of dollars in infrastructure projects for New York, they're being frozen. Not a little trim here either. We're talking about $18 billion worth of projects shut down. No money coming for it. I don't have a problem with it at this point. I don't.
Shutdown stretches into its first day. We're getting an interesting update from the head of the Office of Management and Budget. Remember, this is the agency that warned about numerous layoffs and large-scale layoffs. And we know that the head, Russ Vought, is going to be speaking with Republicans a little later today, and we expect him to give more details about plans. But right now, he is tweeting that the roughly $18 billion project in New York City infrastructure projects are being put on hold. This includes the Hudson Tunnel project and the second Avenue subway. And look, Voight says on Twitter that these are based on unconstitutional DEI principles. That is what he has said on Twitter. He says more is coming soon, but it's impossible to miss the context here. I mean, these are projects that are taking place in New York. This is the state that Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is from. This is the state that Senate House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is from. And the Hudson Tunnel project is one that Schumer in particular has really pushed and lobbied for. So this is an example, I think, of what we might going to be seeing during this shutdown. The longer it lasts, the more we expect to see cuts in funding, cuts to programs, federal layoffs. And it seems that this is the initial shot across the bow here just a couple hours into the shutdown.
Interesting. This shutdown fight isn't about random cuts. It's targeted pressure. Massive projects like the Hudson Tunnel and the 2nd Avenue subway. These are Chuck Schumer's crown jewels here. Rug pulled out from under him. Timu Barack Obama, he has tied his credibility to bringing money home to New York City. And now both are being exposed. The message is simple. If Democrats want to keep the government closed to protect illegal immigrants and fund pet programs, their states will feel the pain first. Democrats are fighting for things that aren't even happening. Undoing Medicaid reforms, restoring PBS and NPR, or spending trillions that we don't have. We are $37 trillion in debt right now. Republicans won't cave, and they shouldn't cave on it. They shouldn't. The longer this drags out, the worse it gets for New York and for the Democrats who run it. So my prediction is this. My prediction is that they will come to the table and they will fold. They always do. They don't have any leverage this time either. They have zero leverage. Zero. They don't have the upper hand. So I would assume that in the near future, they're playing chicken right now, but they're going to crawl back. And when they crawl back, it will be obvious who calls the shutdown. Democrats protecting illegals at the expense of taxpayers, which should make you sick. I was having a conversation the other day with a young man and was talking, and, aren't you upset, that the ICE is going there ripping families apart? I was like, bro, you got to get off mainstream media, man. They're trying to take health care. I'm like, who's taking your health care? Well, I paid for mine. I was like, Then I had to go in there and we had to break it down. We had a conversation. I thought we had a good conversation. I don't know how fruitful it will be, but I did ask and challenge him. Go do some research. Seriously. Don't just listen to one side. Go do some research. At the end of the day, Americans care about their jobs, they care about the paychecks, and they care about the health care. Not Chuck Schumer's subway expansion or memes on Truth Social. Democrats think that they're fighting for principle, but it looks like theater. And Trump is turning it into a comedy show that they cannot win. It's going to come out who caused this. It's going to come out. And that's why when they point blank get asked the question, hey, are y'all trying to fund illegal immigration or illegals receiving health care? When that comes out, you notice they never say no. Now, people on the media, they will say, oh, this isn't happening. But the politicians themselves never come out and say, no, we're not funding illegal immigrants, nor are we trying to. They don't come out and say no. They word salad their way out of it, or they'll sidestep the question. That's who they are, though. Because if they were not using some of this money or a good chunk of the money to fund illegal immigration or illegals receiving healthcare funds, they would just come out and say, hey, we're not doing this. But I want to move on. Next story. Other news that's out there, I don't know if you guys heard about it, but there's another BLM activist who's been caught diverting thousands of dollars in donations that were supposed to go to a nonprofit to pay for their own personal expenses. This individual has pleaded guilty to 18 federal charges. Once again, these nonprofit organizations, and it's not just a Black Lives Matter organization. There's a bunch of them out there that are doing this, and they're getting caught up. But this particular situation here, this particular situation is interesting. But let's get into it.
Boston community activist is going to be sentenced in January after pleading guilty to federal fraud charges. Prosecutors say Monica Cannon Grant took thousands of dollars in donations that were earmarked for her anti-violence nonprofit. However, she spent it on herself. They say she used the money on everything from vacations to rent payments. Cannon Grant was the founder and CEO of Violence in Boston. Again, the nonprofit was intended to reduce violence and help community causes across Greater Boston.
Okay, now y'all heard what they said her nonprofit was for, right? Now, let this sink in. All these liberal places around saying, hey, we don't need more police. We need to invest into the programs. We need to invest into the organizations that help bring the crime down, right? It's all a game, man. They get the money from the police budget, and then these folks, they never actually do anything in the community, and then they siphon the resources for themselves. Y'all heard that, right? Y'all heard that, right? Her nonprofit was supposed to be to help lower the crime rate in her community. Yeah. That's where they want the money diverted to. Organizations like this, so people like this individual here, we're going to keep going on it, but people like this individual can siphon the resources that they're receiving. But here's a little background. Years before this young lady, she was named, before she was a headline name, Monica Cannon Grant sat in front of a camera and framed herself as the voice of a community under siege, a Black woman in Roxbury who didn't have the luxury of ignoring hard truths. That's how this individual was framed. I want you guys to see this.
Nonprofit called Violence in Boston is facing fraud charges, accused of misusing grant money and donations. Monica Cannon Grant is a well-known activist for racial justice. She's accused of using donations for personal expenses, including groceries, car rentals, even nail salon visits. WBZ's Christina Hager talked to community leaders who say this arrest could hurt the movement.
Nothing to say as she walked out of court facing a list of federal charges. Violence in Boston founder Monica Cannon Grant. Famous for leading racial equity rallies from Boston to Hopkinton, now accused of using money from her charity for personal use, raising grave concerns among other Black activists that her alleged actions could set them all back.
Philanthropic organizations, elected officials, and others who may now be less likely to give to what they may perceive as a good cause.
An 18-count indictment alleges Cannon Grant and her husband Clark Grant used Violence in Boston money to pay for personal things like hotels, groceries, car expenses, Ubers, restaurants, nail salons, and travel. A political adversary, Republican Rayla Campbell, stopped by court to air out her own complaints.
You could see it's all about her and making herself happy, and it wasn't about taking care of the people and really standing up.
The couple also faces accusations of falsely claiming pandemic aid money and allegedly lying to get a mortgage for this Taunton home, which was the subject of a raid last October when Clark Grant was taken into custody.
The field was shut down over there, and it was shut down at the lights.
Neighbors say the road was blocked off and crowded with authorities.
You should either pay it back or do time or do something.
Cannon Grant walked out of the courthouse here on personal recognizance. Her attorneys put out a statement saying this case is based on incomplete records and they are certain she will be vindicated. In the Seaport, Christina Hager.
So back in 2017, this young woman, she condemned a permitted free speech rally after the Charlottesville situation, branding it white supremacy and smearing anyone on the right as racist. You know, if you're on the right, you're racist. That mix of moral urgency and sweeping accusations, it basically became her brand at this point. You know, local media boosted her up, activists rallied around her, and by 2020, after George Floyd's death, her platform basically exploded, the mic got louder, and the money rolled in. Y'all know what happened. You know, she launched the nonprofit Violence in Boston in 2017, pitched it as a nonprofit to support survivors in neighborhoods. The press held her as a, grassroots leader. Politicians and agencies treated her as a stakeholder, but court filings tell a different story. A nonprofit run like a personal bank account, public money diverted to private spending, and benefits collected while income flowed in. That isn't spin. That's the heart of a federal case against her at this point. I want to pull up. I want you guys to do this here because these are the charges. You know, this is what it is. This is the action. If you want this, I'll send it over to you. But former director of Boston nonprofit pleads guilty to fraud charges at this point. Says here that Monica Cannon Grant at 44 pled guilty to 18 counts, 3 counts of wire fraud conspiracy, 10 counts of wire fraud, 1 count of mail fraud, and 2 counts of each filing false tax returns and failing to file tax returns. U.S. District Court Judge Angel Kelly scheduled sentencing for January 29th, 2026. So this isn't, something that is alleged. No, this is something that it happened, and hey, she pled guilty to it. She got caught, pled guilty to it. So Cannon Grant and her husband claimed to be unpaid leaders even as donations surged in 2020, then quietly paid themselves and spent public money and donor money on anything but violence prevention. The indictment also shows that she took tens of thousands of dollars in 2020 and over 6 figures in 2021 while posing as a volunteer. And at the same time, they collected more than $100,000 in pandemic unemployment benefits despite other income. In her own messages, Cannon Grant admitted unemployment officials had caught her and demanded repayment. It's not a mistake, but a pattern. I mean, we're talking about an individual who was siphoning public funds for private gain while posturing as a victim of the very system that she said that was exploiting people that look like her and I. I mean, this is outrageous. This is outrageous. This young lady started this back in 2017. Monica Cannon Grant built her brand by labeling a free speech rally white supremacy and casted herself as the resistance. The media boosted her up. Politicians funded her. I would assume some celebrities funded her. Donations surged in from all around the country. All around the country. Her organization was celebrated as grassroots success. But court records told the truth. It was a personal bank account disguised as a charity. She and her husband, they claimed to be unpaid volunteers while pocketing 6 figures, raking in pandemic unemployment funds, using taxpayer grants on nail salons and hotels and restaurants. And even when under indictment, she was still involved, or invited, into schools and elite spaces, lecturing about justice while facing federal charges. That wasn't oversight. I mean, it was willful blindness. Eventually, the evidence forced a plea guilty. Not a paperwork error, not persecution. This was just flat out fraud. And the bigger scandal is how officials, the media, and donors ignored the red flags. They rewarded, incendiary rhetoric, looked the other way at obvious abuse, and acted shocked only when the receipts landed. This isn't a one-off here. I mean, we've seen it, with BLM groups across the country, blowing millions of dollars on mansions and perks while branding skeptics as racist. That's how hollow public trust is right now. Replace accountability with ideology, auditing with activism, and prudence with politics. I mean, the standard should be simple. Every charitable dollar traceable to real programs, audited and published. Taxpayer money tied to strict compliance, not press releases. And if you're under federal investigation, you don't collect fees to lecture kids. You shouldn't be able to do that. And if your brand is built on smears and slurs, hey, you don't get to play community healer. Pointing out fraud doesn't deny real violence or the real need. It protects the people doing honest work. The mentors and the counselors who stretch budgets and show receipts, they deserve support, not the grifters. And that is the problem. The people who are actually doing the work and trying to do things the right way, they don't get the support that is necessary. But people like this person, they get the money and they don't do right by it. And then they make it really tough on the people who start organizations or who have organizations that are actually doing the right thing. The lesson from Cannon Grant's fall is clear. This wasn't unforeseeable. It was ignored, but not unforeseeable. Real justice means restitution, penalties, tougher audits, and retiring the lazy reflex that shields activists from scrutiny by branding oversight as hate. Movements that truly care about justice, about actually helping the people, should welcome transparency. They shouldn't fear it. They shouldn't fear it. If the only defense is yelling racist at accountability, you're not running a charity. You're running a scam. Simple as that. These people, hundreds of thousands of dollars, they pulled in between public money that came from taxpayers, between celebrity donations, people who work hard every day to donate their money and saying, hey, I want to support a good cause. Only to find out that this individual stole the money. This is ridiculous, man. And that's the thing. These nonprofits, it wouldn't surprise me one bit. Maybe we find out, maybe we won't. Maybe we'll find out that there was some politician out there that got a kickback behind it. Who knows? We know this happens. But this is ridiculous. I'm all for community programs that help young people. I am all for it. We know that there are a lot of young brothers and sisters out there that need the help. They need the guidance. They need it. But it's unfortunate when people like this take advantage of good people. They take advantage of the taxpayers. They take advantage of the donors. And they don't do what they're supposed to do. They don't do what they say they're going to do. And unfortunately, this isn't the first time that it's happened. I don't think it will be the last time that it will happen, because this nonprofit race hustle industry, it is what it is, man. It is a racket. And a lot of people know, hey, this is a way that you can get some money really quickly. They know it. It's sad that people continue to fall for it. But I'd also like to see some laws around the fact that, hey, if you are a nonprofit, I think I talked about this yesterday or the day before yesterday, that one, strict quarterly audits. If you're taking taxpayer money and money from citizens, hardworking citizens, you should be audited on a quarter-to-quarter basis at minimum. At minimum. And it should be mandatory that at least 40 to 45, 50% of the money that you take in goes towards the cause that your nonprofit is attempting to solve. That should be mandatory. There should be no more situations to where, oh, there's a nonprofit out there, they're raking in millions of dollars and they only actually spend 5% or less on the actual cause that they say that they're solving. That shouldn't be the case, man. Seriously. If you're a nonprofit organization, I think that you should be held to a higher standard than even a regular business. Not to say that regular businesses aren't held to higher standards, but when you're a nonprofit, you're not generating money in the same way that a for-profit business does. Most of your money comes from either, taxpayer, grants, or donors, people who work their tails off Monday through Friday, in some cases more than that, and out of the kindness of their heart, they want to do something and they want to help. And they give $5, $10, $100, in some cases $1,000. If you're taking money from hardworking people, you should be held to a greater responsibility. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. And these are the kind of people, they need to be called out. I'm not saying that, some of these programs aren't needed. I'm not saying it. I'd like to see a X Academy for boys all across the country. I love what King Randall is doing down there in South Georgia. I love it. I'd love to see something like that, not only for boys, but for girls all across the country. We can put money behind that. That young man showcases, hey, this is the money that we brought in. This is what we're doing with the funds. Not only is he showcasing it on paper, but he's also doing videos and things of that nature to showcase, hey, this is where your money, this is where your donations are going. Oh, man. All right. Last but not least, I want to keep it moving. Last but not least, I want to talk about Don Lemon. Actually, before I do that, there's a couple super chats I want to read real quick. All right. Shout out to JJ O'Hara with a $5 super sticker. Thank you very much. And thank you, Malachi, for the $2 super chat. Says, I'm actually a bigger fan of Vance, bigger Vance fan, Vance 2028. Okay. Shout out to that. Shout out to you. Have you read or listened to Hillbilly Elegy? If you haven't, I do think you should check it out, man. Phenomenal book. Phenomenal. But let's move on and let's talk about Don Lemon. Well, I won't hold you guys too much longer. But I want to talk about Don Lemon and his recent comments, that he tossed out there. This dude's always putting his foot in his mouth. You know what? I was going to go somewhere else, but I'm not going to go there either. We're going to keep it PG. Because this is another story that ties into how the loudest voices often benefit the most from the very system that they claim to despise. We got to check out his comments real quick, and then we'll go from there. All right.
Men who look like you, men who vote like you, and men who sound like you. White men, something is broken. Something is cracked deep inside when so many of you believe the answer to fear, to loss, to change is violence. Are you listening to me? I hope I'm saying it loud enough for the people in the back.
All right, so Don Lemon's been making the headlines for saying that white men are the broken ones, the ones behind the uptick in the violence that we've been seeing, which is sort of funny to me because hey, this is the dude that he decided to, be in a, committed relationship with, It's been sort of a pattern though with these leftists, right? Who go out, in public and blame the white man for basically everything. But look at these people, man. And hey, I ain't knocking it. God bless you. If that's what you want to do, By all means, do you. I could care less, to be honest with you. I really could. I could care less. But we got to call out the hypocrisy, right? We got to call out the hypocrisy. But I want to set aside the personal hypocrisy for a moment, and I want to focus on the substance or the lack thereof. Because Lemon's narrative is that, white men are the common faces behind mass shootings and violence. A narrative, pushed by our friends over on the left to detract from the fact that they've been calling for violence for years. Now, I'm not here to refute that you've had some deranged individuals that also happen to be white guys, to include the dude that shot and killed Charlie Kirk and the man that, rammed his truck into the Mormon church, this past weekend, or a multitude of the mass shootings out there. I'm not here to absolve those people. It is wild. Doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense. What's going on? It doesn't. Something definitely needs to shake. Now, I will say, and it's something that I've been talking about for quite some time, we have a mental health crisis going on. We also have some folks that have been radicalized out here. A lot of it comes from mainstream media. You have a lot of folks on mainstream media, and we've had politicians and we've had, other talking heads, on some of these platforms, calling for people to be reckless. We've had it. And then you add that with the fact that we do have a mental health crisis going on in our nation like no other. And we'll get some issues, man.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
There needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick them.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized right to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face!
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Look as his character is stabbed to death.
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
A Missouri state senator is under investigation by the Secret Service after saying she hopes President Trump is assassinated.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
And sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
If you think we're rallying now, you ain't seen nothing yet.
They try to come off as holier than thou, but I mean, when you have not just one, not two, but you have politicians out here talking like this. And yet the default response is the same. Blame MAGA. Scream but Trump. And ignore reality. Don Lemon, for example, never acknowledges FBI data showing that while black men do make up 6% of the population, unfortunately, they account for half of the homicide offenders. And unfortunately, we have entirely too many brothers, one, committing these types of atrocities, but also falling victim to these atrocities. It's awful. And that right there is not an opinion, you know, but when you think about the statistics, those are federal statistics. The irony is thick. The irony is thick. Lemon spent years on CNN, one of the most privileged platforms in media, living in comfort and influence, married to a white man. Or in a, we can't say marriage because marriage is for us. We got to say he's in a, I guess, state sanctions, what do we call it? State sanctioned domestic partnership. We'll call it that. Marriage is between a man and a woman. But while he did all of this, sleeping with a white guy, while railing against America and portraying white men as inherently broken. Now I'm gonna say this. Are there some white guys out there that are, you know, bat-ish crazy? Absolutely. I would also say that a large majority of them are on the left. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that they've been radicalized. They have been radicalized by their politicians. They've been radicalized by mainstream media. And what we do know is that there are a lot of people on the left that suffer from some form of mental health issue, whether it's anxiety, whether it's depression, you name it. The men and the women. What's up? What's up, MJ? The men and the women. Let's just keep it a buck. There are a lot of, as Arthur would say, there's a lot of mentally deranged people. Large amount of them on the left. Large amount of them on the left. And they've been radicalized. Y'all saw the clip. They've been radicalized. So yeah, we have some issues in our country. We have some issues in our country. Unfortunately, we have some young white dudes out there that are radical as all get out. And they're willing to take matters in their own hands. But who put the battery on their back? Who put the battery on their back? Y'all see what's going on in Portland? There's not a lot of black folks who live in Portland, Oregon. And when I go out and watch the videos and I watch what's going on out there, I don't see a lot of black people out there just keeping it a buck. I don't. But I do see a bunch of super radical, deranged liberals, mainly white liberals. But if you really think about history, that's been their MO for quite some time. When you think about who the KKK is or was, were those people not radical liberals? Right? So, I mean, should we be surprised that they are behaving like this? Should we be surprised that they are, what's the word I'm looking for? As destructive as they are? As hateful as they are? I mean, from a historical standpoint, this has been who they are. I mean, come on, man. Liberals of all ilk, man. Liberals of all ilk. Black, white, Hispanic. A large amount of them, not all, but a good amount of them are deranged. You can't have it's hard to have a conversation with a lot of these people, man, because they get upset. They get upset. But Candace, I'm glad you said that. Lovers of themselves, yeah, they're extremely prideful people. Pride always comes before the fall. They're extremely prideful people. The crazy thing when it comes to Don Lemon is, he wasn't always like this. There was a time when Don Lemon himself once challenged the Black community directly, offering 5 ways to fix what's broken. That honesty is long gone because it doesn't pay. It doesn't pay to tell young Black men, pull your daggone pants up. We don't want to see your draws. It doesn't pay, you know what I'm saying, to tell a young sister, hey, you don't have to be out here with any and everybody. Marry before you carry. Okay? Marry before you carry. Get your parents involved to make sure that you're choosing and selecting the right man. It doesn't pay to tell a lot of these young Black folks, hey, take your education seriously. Get into find a skill set trade that's in demand and go get into that. It doesn't pay well to do that. But that's where he started. He started there. But that type of honesty, it's long gone. Replaced with deflection and blame shifting. And that's a lot of the reason why no one takes this dude seriously anymore. No one takes this dude seriously. I had a teacher back in the day. I won't mention his name, but he was a coach. But he was also a teacher. He taught U.S. history, but he would always give us really good game. And for those of you guys that know, I went to a school I graduated from a high school in the Atlanta area that was, I was maybe 98% Black, 98, maybe 99%. And that meant to include the teachers, the administrators, all of that. I grew up in the area like that, but our coach, and he taught U.S. history, but he used to say all the time, hey, marry before you carry, and no romance without finance. Get your life in order first before you decide to jump out there and act like you're going to get with a young woman or get with a young man. Get your life in order first. And he really was speaking to young men. Get your life in order. The marry before you carry, that was obviously for the women, but he would tell the young men the same thing. Hey, take your education seriously. Don't be out here, trying to be something that you're not. Don't have children early. And get your money right. Get your life in order. Get your finances in order before you decide to marry somebody. And that doesn't mean that you had to have all the money in the world. You just needed to be going in the right direction. But giving that type of advice, it doesn't pay well. Now, telling somebody that they're a victim because the white man is keeping them from making it happen, that will get you a lot of money. And that's the direction that Don Lemon went. Even though dude sleeps, with a white man. I find it ridiculous when I hear an Ilhan Omar get on TV and say white men are but you're sleeping with one. You're married to one. Same thing with Ketanji Brown Jackson. Same thing with AOC. Right? I just find it crazy. I find it crazy that seems like that is like the MO with these people. How do you talk about folks so bad and you're married to them? It makes no sense to me. Now, again, hey, if you're into interracial dating, If you're, white woman, man, and you want to date, whoever, I don't care. Black man, black woman, you want to date whoever, I don't care. But I would find it very difficult to date a woman or to marry a woman who would get on TV or get on any platform and say she hates people that look like me. I would find that very difficult. I couldn't imagine being married to a white woman and that would get on TV or social media platform and talk about how she hates black men. I just couldn't do it. Like, how do you say that and then go lay down and hang out with them? I just don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. What type of awkward conversation are you having with that individual when you get home? And you're like, oh, I didn't really mean it, or not you, you're one of the good ones. What? Oh man, that's even worse. Oh, I didn't really feel like that about you. You're one of the good ones. I'm just talking about the rest of these folks. Oh, so you mean my brother, my sister, my dad? These people are crazy. Golly, crazy. For the life of it, man, it just makes zero sense. 0 cents. But nothing that these people do makes sense. Nothing. Seriously, nothing.
Because black people, if you really want to fix the problem, here's just 5 things that you should think about doing. Here's number 5, pull up your pants. Number 4 now is the N-word. I hosted a special on the N-word, suggesting that black people stop using it, and that entertainers stop deluding yourselves or themselves and others that you're somehow taking the word back. Now number 3, respect where you live. Start small by not dropping trash, littering in your own communities. I've lived in several predominantly white neighborhoods in my life. I rarely, if ever, witness people littering. I live in Harlem now. It's an historically black neighborhood. Every single day I see adults and children dropping their trash on the ground when a garbage can is just feet away. Number 2, finish school. You want to break the cycle of poverty? Stop telling kids are acting white because they go to school or they speak proper English. Number 1, and probably the most important, just because you can have a baby, it doesn't mean you should, especially without planning for one or getting married first. More than 72% of children in the African American community are born out of wedlock. That means absent fathers. And the studies show that lack of a male role model is an express train right to prison. And the cycle continues. So please, black folks, as I said, if this doesn't apply to you, I'm not talking to you. Pay attention to and think about what has been presented in recent history as acceptable behavior. Pay close attention to the hip-hop and rap culture that many of you embrace, a culture that glorifies everything I just mentioned, thug and reprehensible behavior, a culture that is making a lot of people rich, just not you.
That was Don Lemon way back in the day. And I gotta say, everything that he said right there, I agree with. Those are things that I have said on my channel. And a lot of times people say, oh, if you don't love black people because you don't affirm their foolishness. No, I love you enough to tell you the truth. My children, they know I don't sugarcoat anything with them, and I never have. When you're wrong, you're wrong. And when you're right, I want to praise you. I'm a big believer, in praising, in private and in public, but I'm going to get you when I need to. But more times than not, I can do that when we get to the house, more times than not. But I'm not going to play with you. That I'm not going to do. And I'm going to tell you the truth. And he was absolutely right, man. If you actually really love somebody, you would tell them the truth about their plight. Yes, pull your pants up. Yes, take your education seriously. Yes, do not have children out of wedlock. Don't do these things. Take care of your community. Take care of your community. Where I live at right now, my community, we're probably, I don't know, it's pretty diverse. We're probably 50-50 or so. It's pretty diverse. And the people actually care about the neighborhood. We might see some trash down and it will get picked up. If I see it, I will pick it up. If I'm out with my children, you know, hey, y'all see that? Hey, go pick that up, put that in that trash can over there. Now, we do have a problem with people picking up after their dogs. Lord have mercy, I can't stand that. Pick up after your dogs, people. You know what I'm saying? Don't just let your dogs poop all over the place, you know? And yes, I'm 100% in lockstep with, hey, can we retire the N-word? Retire it. It's gone. Let's not use that anymore. You can rap without using that word. You can remove it from your vocabulary. You can remove it from your vocabulary. Yeah. You can. I mean, it's crazy because Don Lemon at that point in that video sounded a lot like Larry Elder, you know, or, you know, someone else along those lines, urging personal responsibility in the Black community. You know, and that message sparked outrage. That message sparked outrage with critics accusing him of blaming the victim. But he was right. It was an uncomfortable truth that needed to be said. So the question is, what changed? Lemon shifted from accountability to scapegoating, from urging his own community to look inward and control what you can control to blaming white men for all the problems of America. And that's rich coming from someone who's lived a pretty privileged life, built on the very system that he condemns on a day-to-day basis. I mean, his platform, his domestic partnership, and lifestyle are all products of America, yet he calls white men broken. And are there some broken white folks out there? Absolutely. But this dude's a hypocrite, man. He's also dishonest. But the real problem isn't white men. The real issue is we have a culture that rewards victimhood, punishes dissent, and replaces solutions with identity politics. Politicians fan division, media amplifies outrage, and accountability gets buried. Real issues that we have in our country, crumbling families, and that's of all demographics, except for Indian Americans. We have weak leadership. We have cultural decay that's happening in our country that is getting ignored. And Lemon Shift, you know, it reflects a broader sickness, a system that rewards hypocrisy, ignores the data, and scapegoats instead of looking to solve issues. The truth is simple. It's not white men who are broken. It's a culture that refuses to confront its own failures. That is the biggest issue. And that's across the board. We can't solve problems that we're not even willing to address. You can't. You can't. If you're not willing to discuss the issues, how do you solve these problems? And that goes for everybody. We're too busy pointing the finger, right, left, Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, instead of saying, no, we got some problems. Let's confront the issues and say, you know what? Let's solve these problems. And this is how we do it. A couple super chats I want to read real quick, but I was looking for, there was a chat that I've seen that I wanted to address, maybe. One second, bear with me, guys. Sorry about that. Andre, what's BTW? I'm not. Oh, Booker T. Washington. Got you. Yeah, I'm familiar with Booker T. Washington. Yeah, I went to high school, in the Atlanta metro in DeKalb County. But I wouldn't say, we wasn't in the hood. I would say it was more of a, I guess we're middle class, at that time. Middle class. And, my brother actually lives in the house that we grew up in. My parents moved a while back, but my brother lives there now. Actually, my brother and my little cousin lives in the house. So, the house that I grew up in, that my sister and that we all grew up in, it's still in the family. Praise the Lord. All right, there we go. I think I found it. Oh, LS, you a mess, yo. You a mess, dude. Goodness gracious. LS, you are a mess and a half, dude. You gonna call the man a rump ranger? But I'm gonna disagree with you to an extent, LS. I mean, good advice is good advice. It really doesn't matter who it comes from. And I do, to an extent, I can agree, with your sentiment there as far as, this dude, he needs to, address his issues. But at the same time, I don't like to project. I don't like to point the finger and say, but what about? I never allowed my children to do that either. You get in trouble, one of them will get in trouble for something, and he try to bring them up, but my brother did this. I ain't worried about that right now. I'm talking to you, and I'm focused on your situation right now. I'm not worried about that. We're so quick to point the finger and say, but what about these folks? Why? How about we focus on what we need to focus on and control what we can control? Shout out to Amethyst Angel with the $5 super chat. Says, does his Caucasian hubby approve of this message? What about, how do you say that? Oh, is that mentally ill, Hein? Oh, I'm sorry. The screen here is so small, man. It's hard to read the, yeah, it's somewhat difficult to read. Give me a second here. But thank you, Amethyst Angel. Shout out to my guy Jeff with the $11 super chat. Says, Don Lemon has stayed true and never had a baby. Goodness gracious, Jeff. What am I gonna do with you, bro? Shout out to Jeff with the $11 super chat. Says, take it one step further, remove the hyphen, stop dividing our identities with the hyphen, no African American, no Latin American, no Irish American, et cetera, just American. I actually agree with that. I'm in agreement with that. This is our nation, man. And we are just Americans. Simple as that. Okay, Andre. Okay. All right, so you're about my age. I'm a slightly older. I graduated in '99, but graduating class was 250 people. What did y'all start with? What was that freshman year like? Yeah, I went to, I'm sure you're familiar with it. I went to Redan High School. That's where I graduated from. Redan, out in the mountain. Are we? Oh, wow. All right. Okay. We need a few more super chats to hit our goal today. We need a few more to hit our goal today. But I may still open it up anyway, because I'd like to hear from you guys. But the super chat, super thanks are greatly appreciated. And thank you all for supporting the channel this morning. But yeah, we have a mental health crisis in our country right now, man. Seriously. And we have entirely too many people that are, obviously suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. They're suffering from MAGA derangement syndrome. We have entirely too many people that have been radicalized by the left. I mean, we see what's going on out there in Portland, Oregon. Yeah. The last couple, mass shootings, they've either, been a part of the alphabet community with the T, with that T, or, they've been, just some deranged, radicalized white dude that lost his daggone mind. Those issues, hey, they need to be solved. Now, I'm one of those kind of people, especially, at the churches, man. Hey, if you're not going to church armed in this day and age, I mean, I think you're hustling backwards. If the church you go to does not have some form of armed security, even if they're, I mean, I do think they should be concealed, but, we need that now. There are entirely too many demonic individuals out there willing to take you out. We know what time it is with the church. We know what time it is. Thank you, Mike C, for the $5 super sticker, man. Thank you very much, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. Seriously. There are some folks out there that are deranged. Mike, the chat's working. I can see you. There are some people out there that are deranged. And it's not right. Something's got to be done about it. Now, I'm not one of those kind of people that's out here saying that we need to, make it even more difficult for, people to arm themselves. I am pro 2A like it's nobody's business. I am very much pro 2A. Hey, if I could buy a cannon, I would. Is it stuck? I hope not. But I'm very much pro 2A. Very much. Let me see what you said, Andre. Let's see. Being a former military myself, I am definitely in agreement. If anyone is offended, that they need to file a hurt feelings or hurt feelings report. Thank you for your service, Andre, man. Appreciate you. What branch? What up, B Wise? How's it going, man? Says respect at Wise. Knowledge is power. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Thank you. You're absolutely right, man. You are absolutely correct. Knowledge is power. Self-control, self-accountability is power as well. We have entirely too many people out there. All right, perfect. Army National Guard. All right, man. Outstanding. Thank you for your service, brother. But we have entirely too many people out there who are blaming, pointing the fingers at others for their plight. I see it, in the Black community. I've run across, people that would be considered, I guess, poor whites, blaming everybody. I've witnessed it. Opposed to taking responsibility for their own lives. Seriously. I've listened to some folks, complain, but I'm like, okay. And after you're done complaining, go to work. After you're done complaining, go to work. If you are born in the United States of America, you hit the birthplace lottery. You hit the birthplace lottery, regardless of who you are. If you were born in this country, you hit the birthplace lottery. Even those of us that may have started off in the hood, or in the trailer park, or, where else? What's another, place that they would call, a not so great neighborhood? You can still make it out of that. You can still make it out of it. You can. I mean, we look at, Vice President J.D. Vance, who today is, VP, a step away from becoming president, comes from the bottom. We look at Dr. Ben Carson, comes from the hood, from the bottom, single parent led household. Look at where he made it. There's no other country that you could do that. There's no other country that could be your plight where you started off at and you could ascend to the heights that these men have ascended to. When I think about my own parents who, we didn't start off with a lot. My parents, they got married out of high school. My biological father, got strung out and ended up dipping. And my mother met a man who was, I guess, he was a prior Army veteran, and they got together. And they've been together for, since I was, I guess, about 5 years old or so 40 years or so. And I watched them build. And yes, there was some lean moments early on in life. But when you're a kid, you don't even realize it. I don't think I really realized that, hey, we might have been poor until I got a little older and I got a chance to witness our lives change. I really didn't realize that, hey, we might have been poor. But I witnessed two people get together and build together. I witnessed it. And I witnessed them, purchase a home. That happened, I guess, around when I was about 11 years old. Like I was saying earlier, they still own said house. And, I witnessed, the start of a corporation, the start of a business. And all of this is through determination, hard work, and being able to get together on the same page and build. I got a chance to see it. And then conversations with my grandparents, about their situation and how they got together and how they built together. Now, these are married people. It's hard to do this by yourself. It's hard to do it by yourself. And to be honest with you, I don't think we're supposed to be out here by ourselves building. That's not supposed to be the case. Shout out to Papa Died with the $5 super chat. Says, your past doesn't define you, but today and tomorrow will. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's what's the old phrase? They say, you born looking like your parents, you die looking like your decisions. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Thank you, Jane, for the $10 super chat. Says, I don't comment much. I'm always listening while getting ready for work. God bless you, Wise, and everyone in the chat. Thank you, Jane. Thank you very much. I appreciate you supporting the channel this morning. Thank you very much. Shout out to 2020 Vision with the $5 super chat. Says, took me 37 years to realize how true what you're saying is about birthplace lottery. Thank you, Wise. Thank you, Wise. People like you have opened me to this 100% proud American. Thank you. Appreciate that 2020 Vision, man. Thank you. Author, is it Heinous with the $5 super chat says, knowledge is what you're taught. Wisdom is how you evaluate your knowledge. I grew up super poor, retired by 36. Man, God bless you. Sheesh. Hey, we might need to bring you on, get you to give us some game. Seriously. I mean, you got to think about this, man. In other countries, wherever you start at, that's normally where you're going to die at. When you think about these places that have these caste systems and things of that nature, Whatever your parents are, that's what you are. Your parents poor, you're poor. There's no way for you to break yourself out of it. Yeah, LS, you're absolutely right. And those are some of the things that I think we need to get back to. We're seeing marriage rates decline, out of wedlock births increase. And you see what that has done to, the Black population here in America. You see what that has done. It's hard to build generational wealth by yourself. It's very difficult to do. It's even more difficult to do if you have the family court system in your business. Even more difficult. If you got 3-4 kids, out of wedlock that you're paying child support on and they're garnishing that money before you even see it, hard to build generational wealth there. Hard to invest there. You know what I'm saying? Very difficult to do. I want to open it up for a little bit. Allow people the opportunity to call in today if you are interested. Let's see. It is 11:15, so we won't stay on too long. Maybe we'll do this for about 30 minutes. We'll see how many people pull up. But we do have some deranged people out there. We have some deranged people that have been radicalized. Large majority of them on the left. Large majority. But nonetheless, they're radicalized and willing to do harm. I mean, you look at what happened out in Australia. I don't know if you guys recall, maybe it was about a year ago, but one of the religious leaders out there in Australia was attacked. He's a Christian, was attacked for his beliefs. That happened. Now, the word said that, hey, he hated me first. That's what Jesus said. And he said that they will hate you because you love me. And we're seeing it. You're seeing it. We're seeing it play out. Link is posted. It's pinned to the top. So anybody, if you want to call in for a quick second, feel free to do so. But if we could follow the two greatest commandments, if we could follow those two, man, I mean, imagine what it would do for our country. If we could just, follow the two commandments that he gave us, if we could do that, imagine what would happen to our nation. I mean, we could improve our country at a rapid rate. Just imagine. If we could get more people back to, loving your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind, if we could get back there, and if we could get to folks loving your neighbors as yourself, if we could get back there, we could improve our nation in a rapid rate. Seriously, if we could just get back there wholeheartedly, our nation would improve rapidly. We have entirely too many people that are operating in hate. Entirely too many people that hate. And a lot of the reasons that they hate, some folks don't even know why they hate. They just see like, oh, you're on the other side, I hate you. They don't even know why. Crystal from Crystal Beyond Labels, she said, we have too many people suffering from, this curse of unforgiveness. But if we could just wholeheartedly as a nation follow those two instructions, those two commandments, I mean, things would improve. Things would improve quickly, because if you love your neighbor as yourself, you won't rob your neighbor. You won't steal from your neighbor. You definitely, you won't try to hurt your neighbor. You wouldn't kill your neighbor if you were really trying to love them like you would love yourself. B, you're absolutely right. We have entirely too many people that have been programmed to hate. We have entirely too many people programmed to hate. They don't call it television programming for nothing, right? I mean, you can't get on a mainstream media platform without them, showcasing some form of hate or vitriol towards the other side. B, you're absolutely right. You have a lot of people that have been programmed and conditioned to hate. You've had a lot of people that have been programmed and conditioned to blame someone else for their own issues that have been self-inflicted by themselves. Self-inflicted issues. And they'll point the finger and blame it on someone else. Oh, Arthur, you was asking about the 2 commandments. The 2 commandments are love God completely, love your neighbor as yourself. Go look up Matthew chapter 22, verse 37 and Matthew chapter 22, verse 39. If we could do those 2 things, man. Seriously. If we could live those 2 commandments, you fulfill everything that God requires, because they cover both vertical towards God and horizontal towards each other. That's it, man. Those 2 commandments. And if we could adopt those, if we could get everybody, if we could get 70% of people to adopt that ideology, our country would improve drastically, seriously. And it would happen fast. Yeah. All righty. I guess we're not going to get anybody to pull up this morning, huh? You guys are afraid? What's going on? Nobody wants to talk to me today? Well, hey, tomorrow is panel show day. Y'all know it's Friday. Expect for the show to go, I don't know, 2.5 hours, I guess. Typically, that's normally what happens. I'm not sure 100% exactly who will be on the show. I believe my guy Jay Witt will be on. We'll see. We'll see who else. Oh, Hunter, you got to work. Okay. Well, hey, Hunter, early, the next Friday that you do have off, please let me know. All right. The next Friday you have off, please let me know. I'm trying to limit the panel shows to 6 individuals, myself plus 5. That way, everybody gets an opportunity to talk. I know, Hunter, the last time you were on, I think we had, I don't know, maybe, 8 people on, and it's very difficult to get a word in, especially when my guy Asagai pulls up. That dude, he could just take over the show and just talk. That dude, man, he'll filibuster a conversation like no other. But you know, that's my guy. I got a lot of love for Asa guy, man. But yeah. But tomorrow we will have the panel show tomorrow. And Hunter, if you could, just the next time you do have a Friday off, just let me know, you know, early in advance. And that way I can just add you to the invite. And I know, okay, I have these other 5 that I'm pulling up that I'll have on with me. You know, that way, you know, I can make sure that everybody gets an opportunity, you know, to speak. You know, but Hunter, I definitely appreciate you pulling up. You know, the last time you were on, it was a value add, and I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Appreciate that. But with that being said, we're gonna get out of here. Make sure y'all follow. Uh-oh, look at that. Look at that. On my way out the bed, it would be somebody, you know, you get ready to leave and they pull you like, oh. What's up, Shane? How you doing, brother?
Same poop, different scoop.
I hear that.
Thought I was going to leave like that. I was trying to get Cole Ramon on, but he couldn't figure it out.
Oh, got you. Well, hey. Hopefully he'll figure it out one day.
I'm kind of happy about the shutdown right now.
You are?
Yeah, the Democrats just messed up.
I think so as well. I think so. They've exposed themselves.
They just put the ball in our court. We can go ahead and change laws without them. I mean, they're irreversible laws. They can't change them back. And I think the last shutdown was 35 days.
Yeah, the last one was 35 days over illegal immigrants. Once again, I think what was that, 2018, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it was 18 the last time we had a shutdown. It went for 35 days. What do you think? Over or under? Do we break that record? Because that was the longest one, 35 days. That was the longest one. Do we break that record?
Over.
You think over? Wow.
And the reason why is they messed up, and they know they messed up, and they're gonna have to they're gonna have to hold their feet to the ground on it, or they're gonna look stupid. Yeah. They can't. I mean, right now they're really wanting that free insurance, even though they're denying it. And if they don't get what they want, they're gonna look stupid as dog poop if they don't, you know, get what they want. They got to get something out of it. Mm-hmm. They're not gonna get anything, especially with Trump advancing there. So there's no ifs, ands, or maybes. It's gonna be longer. And the people in Congress, they don't give a crap. You know why?
They're all millionaires.
The Constitution, they're still getting paid.
Yeah, well, they're still gonna get paid, but they're all millionaires.
Like federal employees, yeah, and they're gonna play their stocks or cash a couple out, you know. But they don't care. They don't. They're gonna roll it out, and that's why I was in I'm retired from the union, iron workers, and I hate it. That's mostly Democratic, and I hate it.
Yeah, well, the unions, most of your unions are gonna be. They're Democrat strongholds, most of them.
And I'm stationed in Cincinnati, and it was 372 back then, and they merged with 44. But it sucked for being a white man, because I couldn't work in Cincinnati. I had to work. Yeah, you needed 30 to 40%. Minority.
Okay. Got you.
Me being when I was an apprentice, I was always down in St. Louis or Louisiana, Louisville, and I would come back every once in a while. I'd get a job in Cincinnati, but I was always working on bridges down there, and it sucked. I mean, everybody's a white minority. Everybody besides a white man's a minority. White women are minorities.
Yeah, true.
I was like, so just say you don't want the white man working there.
Well, I think they did.
I mean, that's what it was. I was like, just give me. But it was all right because every 50 miles I went outside from the courthouse in Cincinnati, I got another 50 cents. So the farther I get, the more I.
The further you go, the more you make.
Well, yeah, plus you get per diem and stuff. So I was out of town 9 months of the year. You know.
Oh wow! But you was getting that money though.
Yeah, I didn't spend a dime of it. Besides the regular bills for the house and stuff.
That's what you're supposed to do, man. Keep the expenses low, stack up, and then when you're ready to walk away, you have the bread to do so.
Bingo. And you don't spend a dime of it. I mean, stay at them crappy hotels and stuff like that. But it was a long run, but it is what it is. But yeah, that's why I hated the Democrats. They'd make me run classes for all the apprentices, and I hated it when it was like midterms or election season, because I would have to make all these apprentices call random people and sit there and give them the lines, you know, give them a piece of paper on what to say and just read it left and right, man. That's why I turned on the Democrats so bad on that, because I was mostly Democratic growing up. You know, my dad was union, got me into the union kind of thing. But man.
Now, when you were growing up, were there a lot of conversations around politics, you know, during your childhood, or is it not really a thing?
No, my dad, I was an Air Force brat. My dad retired Air Force, and then he went to the union for the post office.
Got you. So you're kind of moving around a little bit, right?
Yeah, we started out in Dade, Miami, and then the hurricane took us out, Andrew, and then we went to Denver, Arizona, just south of Atlanta. We were in Valdosta, and then we came up to Cincinnati because he went up the right path to retire.
Okay.
He was in Germany for like 10 years though.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, but it wasn't bad. But politics, not really. Not until
same here. You know, we never had any political compromise. You know, I guess, you know, our generation of parent, they didn't really talk to us about anything. You know,
like besides religion. I mean, that was really it. You know.
Yeah, yes, I would hear that. You know, yes, you'll hear about the word of God. But outside of that, no financial conversations, no conversations around, you know, politics. I didn't even know what my parents were politically until, I guess, maybe about 5 years ago.
I'm pretty sure I knew my parents were Democrats, but I didn't know what a Democrat was, you know, when I was growing up.
We never had a conversation. We never had any political conversations, which honestly, I'm thankful for. Because, you know, my first time being able to vote, it was the first Bush election, the first one. Not Daddy Bush, obviously, but I'm talking about 2000 Bush, which I guess would be the second Bush. But I was in the military at that time, and I was making my own decisions, you know, based off of, you know, what made sense to me at that time. And, you know, I started asking questions, and people were like, hey, the Republicans give money to the military. They always make sure we get raises. I was like, no brainer. You know, and that's the only thing that I could concern with was just like, oh, they're going to give us raises? Bet. Well, I'm voting Republican. You know? Just because of that.
2004 was my first year voting. And I don't think I think this last election was the first time I voted for a president that won.
Really?
Yeah, 2000. My birthday's in October, like everybody else in the chats, but elections on November, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And my ID expired, and I didn't realize it. So in 2016, I didn't even get to vote because I had an expired ID.
Oh man, that sucks. Yeah, well,
he still was,
you know,
me.
you're an adult. You're an adult. You gotta be responsible.
Hey, I can't remember everything 4 years in advance, you know. But I did the last one I got the 8-year one. So
okay, good. Well, they normally do send you an email. Well, I guess at that time, I don't know if they were sending emails. Now they do. They will send you an email. They definitely would at least send you a letter.
I wouldn't even have clicked on it.
Like, that's terrible. That's terrible, Shane. Hey, since I got you on, you went to go play golf the other day. What'd you shoot out there?
95.
Oh, it's not bad. It's not terrible.
I broke 100, but I went to.
Hey, if you break 100 playing golf, bro, hey, that's not bad golf.
I used to be proud to break 90, but man, I haven't golfed in so long. I lost almost 2 sleeves of balls.
Oh man.
And Nanny was saying I was making up fishing stories. I was like, Nanny, 95 is not that good. Par 70.
Yeah, par 70. Well, 90. Well, you got to think. Most people that play golf never break 100. That's the large majority. If you get to a point to where you break 90, you're in the like top 10 or 15% of golfers in the world, because most people rarely break 100. You know what I'm saying? It's rare.
I used to golf in high school, and I used to golf really heavy, but I kind of went to disc golf more because it's almost free. So
yeah, disc golf is it's pretty much free. Yeah, golf's expensive, man. And you can't just play 9. And that's what upsets me nowadays, because like all the golf courses around here, like I don't want to spend 4.5 hours, 5 hours on the golf course. I want to spend 2. You know, yeah, even with the cart. So I'm like, I just want to play 9. They're like, oh, you still got to pay full price. Full price to play 9? That's ridiculous.
They give us 9s out here, but it's
Really?
still about 75% the cost of a.
There's only one place to play 9 here, and that's because it's just a 9-hole course that's close by. There's a few other 9-holers out there, but they're a little further away. But man, it upsets me, man. I'm like, come on, man. I want to play a nice golf course, but I just want to play 9. That's it. I got 2.5 hours. That's it. The last time I went and played golf, which was the weekend of 4th of July, dude, it was smoking outside. It was hot.
It was 92.
Oh man, it was blazing hot. And the people not directly in front of us, but the group in front of them were playing super slow. Dude, it was like a 5.5 hour round, bro. It was awful.
I'd be parking under trees in the shade.
It was awful. And that's what we were doing. We were trying to find trees and trying to find shade, but still, it was blazing. It was like 90 plus. The humidity was nasty. I'm just like, dude. And that was the last time I was going out. And I was like, man, I'm not going back out here, man. 5.5 hour round, and I couldn't get in a rhythm, and it was a crappy round. And I was just like, this is terrible. You know what I'm saying? It was terrible.
I was terrible. I slowed the whole card down. I was with my uncle and my cousin, and they both shot in the 70s, high 70s.
Oh wow! Oh, these are some good golfers. Yeah,
they are. Like everybody in my family besides me is a good golfer. Apparently, they're always shooting 80s and 70s. I'm
now, when I was playing consistently, my best round out, I shot a 77. That is the best round that I've ever had. You know, and I've shot some low 80s, you know, a few times. But on average, I would shoot anywhere between like 88 and 92. That was kind of like where I would be at on average. And that's not bad golf. You know what I'm saying? That's not bad, you know, but
the best I ever did was 75, but the par was 68.
Oh, okay. See, I shot 77 on an actual par 72 course, and I shot a 77. Dude, but that day I was out of my mind. And it was the putting, because I had made some mistakes. But dude, I get on that green, man. I had multiple birdies. Dude, I was putting my face off. Hands down, the best. It was the best round of golf, but it was the best round of putting that I ever had in my life, dude. I mean, I was knocking down like 30-foot birdies, bro. It was insane. I couldn't even believe it, man. I couldn't even believe it, dude. I couldn't believe it, man. I was like, when it was all said and done, because we don't look at the score normally. And, you know, my buddy that we normally play with, he was like, dude, I didn't want to say anything to you, you know, after the front 9, because I didn't want to jinx it. But dude, your front 9 was crazy. And then, you know, at the back end on the last hole on 18, he was like, hey, if you par this, or actually if you bogey this, you're going to break 80. And I didn't know where I was at the time. I didn't know where I was. So I didn't know what my score was. But dude, I ended up bogeying that joint. I ended up bogeying it and, you know, ended that. And that was hands down. That was the best round of golf that I played. And then the very next time I went out and played, dude, I shot like 90 something.
When I went golfing the other week, I didn't even have a birdie. I would get like 2 or 3 pars, then I would get a snowman, get like an 8.
Oh, yeah, those are the worst. See, if you can I don't try to play par 72 golf. I don't. I try to play par 90 golf. So my goal is, let's get on and bogey the hole. So I try to play bogey golf. That's, in my mind, if I shoot a 90, that's par in my mind. So I look at the golf course completely different. I don't look at it like I'm a professional. I'm looking at it like, hey, I want to play bogey golf. You know what I'm saying?
I looked at it as like, I got 6 balls. I can only lose 5. I might sneak some range balls in here if I get a little desperate, you know. But it wasn't good. They had a lot of water, so I was like, man, I'm laying this stuff up. I only got 6.
I hear that. All right, I got Carol. I want to pull Carol up.
Oh, awesome.
Appreciate you, Shane. Appreciate you pulling up. Appreciate you supporting the channel too, brother. Thank you, man. Take care, bro. Hey, Carol, I seen you drop off. Pull back up. I'll pull you back in right now. And we had somebody else trying to get in, but it looks like they got in and then dropped off, got in and then dropped off. So let me know. Oh, B, don't worry about it. It's okay. Sometimes it's okay to be the black sheep. You know. Hunter was asking questions. What does it mean to break 100? Did anybody answer his question? Oh yeah. Okay. Somebody got him. Gator Aaron got him. Yeah. That means under 100 shots, Aaron. Hunter. Sorry about that. Under 100 shots. You know, and that includes your putts. Yeah, we don't have a lot of par threes. We only have one par three, and the par three that we have is kind of crappy. It's not a good par three. You know, I wish we had some good ones out there. Let me pull up Carol. Hey, Carol, how you doing?
Hey, Carol, how you doing?
Hey, I'm so sorry.
We don't have a lot of par threes. We only have one par three, and the par three is kind of
You gotta mute me in the background.
Oh, hold on.
Hey, Carol, how you?
All right. Carol, can you hear me? Ed shooting under 80.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but
I can hear myself too.
Oh, well, my computer's off, so I don't know what that's about.
Let me see. Yeah, I can still hear it. There's like a me in the background. Are you watching through your phone?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I was on my computer, but it wouldn't let me log in.
Okay. Yeah. I was asking, do you have me on your phone?
I don't know. I'm logged into where I can see you.
Okay. Yeah, we got the echo chamber going on.
Is this better?
Let me see. No, still an echo.
Okay, well, I don't know how to fix that. You know,
well,
I'm
I'll
a
be
kind
quiet.
of a minimalist.
I'll let you speak.
Okay. We'll talk one at a time, maybe. No, I just wanted to say a few things. I wish I would have been ready. You know, I got to get made up, of course, to be on film. But I love your show. I think the guests you have, the panels that you have, as well as the ARP family in the chat, they're all amazing, very godly people. And you're a godly man and raising, you know, your family the way, as for me and my house, we shall serve the Lord. So I greatly appreciate that about you as being a host. And God bless your wife and your children. And it's amazing because you're teaching your boys how to become, you know, godly men. And right now they don't appreciate that. But I tell you one thing, I bet you when they're talking at school or talking to their friends, they sound just like you. So I think that's going to be kind of funny as they grow older and mature. I will have to say that what Pete Hegseth was saying to the military was awesome and amazing. I was so overjoyed because everything he said is true. It's right on point, and it does line up with the word of God. And these men, if you're serving in the military, I don't care what age you are, at any point, anybody can be called. And, you know, the officers, okay, that's one thing, but they definitely should set the example that, you know, you need to be ready at all times. You never know when a country could, you know, God forbid, could try to come in and, you know, invade the United States, at least put forth the effort. And everyone has to be ready. I'm all for, you know, the churches designating people, or even, you know, just members to be, you know, strapped. I'm 100% pro-gun. And almost every single person in my family is, and there's 10 of us, so that's pretty cool. I can tell you that the top 3 in my family, the eldest, they're all Democrats, and I don't know how that happened because the rest of the 7 of us, we are all Republican because of the what the Republicans stand for in terms of pro-life and, you know, et cetera. And so I don't understand how they're Democrats if they were cut from the same cloth. We all have the same parents, so that doesn't make any sense to me. And regarding Don Lemon, that, you know, that remark is ridiculous. Although it's what he's saying is true about white people, but he can't say that about white men, because when you say white men, that's everyone, and that's not fair.
because yes, there are a lot of deranged people, and a lot of these shootings are being committed by, white males and even that one female. But I think that was a pretty low blow that he took, especially since he's up there, like you said, within a union with a white male. So that's what I have to say. Oh, regarding the immigration thing, 73rd on the south side is, I'm not exactly what cross street that is, but I can kind of guess what area or neighborhood that was in where they did that, the immigration, whatever, raid. And it is true regarding what's going on over here. It is very bad, and I can't stand seeing these people walking the streets who have gotten so much, and yet they're out there committing crimes. It's probably in their DNA to do that, but it's very sad because I personally know someone who has gotten a lot of money, who was from Venezuela, and immediately was driving a brand new car, 2022 in 2024, and the clothes he was wearing was not cheap, and all of them are dressed, and they're the only people you see shopping in the malls, mostly are these Venezuelans, and they're all buying name brand stuff because they got so much money from this government. And I am all for kicking every single one of them out of here. And if you didn't come in the right way, you don't belong here. I actually have two friends that are they're illegal, and they've been here for a long time. And I've told both of them, you don't belong here. You need to leave. What you did was wrong. You broke the law. I don't care if you're here working and not bothering anyone and not committing any crime in your mind, but you did commit a crime because you came into this country on a visa and you never left. So you broke the law. So you are illegal and you need to leave. Now they're shocked when I tell them that, but I don't care, because the truth is the truth, and my friendship with them has nothing to do with the facts. The facts are they broke the law and they don't belong here. And I wish Trump could take every single one of them out of here. And I also know some people that came from Cuba. They came here through the that CBP app, Customs Border app, and they literally came through customs, and customs let them stay here. Now I understand Cuba's a different situation because there were laws that allowed the Cuban the 1 foot dry foot act, and then they changed it to some other act. So their situation may be a little different, I thought, but then I saw on TV that Trump was definitely kicking everybody out, that came through that app as well. So I don't know what's going to happen to them. I pray off, things go well for them. But the fact remains, even though Biden allowed them to come in through that app, it was illegal because we have a process here. The USCIS has a process for people coming into this country and vetting them, making sure that they don't lie on their application like Ilhar Omar did, marrying her brother, right? That's illegal. And so there's a reason for the process. There's a lot of people that come here that have ill intentions toward the United States, and in due time they plan on taking those thoughts to action here. There's a lot of explosive experts, people that have been who have been wanted via Interpol, have come through those borders easily, and they were never vetted. And Mexicans have been coming through that borderline for many years. I actually have a friend whose father had a property right along the border, and the cartel took that over because there was an underground tunnel that went from their house into the United States. And they took it over and just, let everybody whoever paid them to get through, go through. So there's a lot of things that people do, that isn't right. But the fault remains with this country, our government officials, the politicians, because they knew this was going on. They allowed it to continue. They've allowed these people to perpetrate, this country, and that's not right. Had they done this a long time ago and given people a clear sign, don't come here, there's nothing here for you, we're not going to pay for your health care. I remember when my sister had a kid in school, they received a letter, or no, somebody I know received a letter stating that all DACA kids or any child that was even illegal in this country had the right to free health care. And I thought that was wrong back then. Now we're talking over 30 years ago. And there's so many things that could have been stopped a long time ago had this government put their foot down. Had somebody read the laws many years ago, because regarding the what is it, the birthright citizenship, that's a lie. The only people that the only people that were entitled to that were the children of slaves, because they had, or even slaves, because they had no country. But they gave it to everyone. And that right there caused a big problem, because then people started coming over and having what they call anchor babies, right? So that is another problem. This nation is it's such a mess right now. And, I feel sorry for President Trump, who's inherited all these problems, but he's working diligently at every single one of them. He is, trying his best to right the wrongs that have been happening in this nation for decades and decades. Regarding Doge, all for Doge. Get rid of the waste, fraud, and abuse, because it's costing the taxpayers money, trillions of dollars, because of these politicians who want to line their pockets through that money. Regarding Brandon Johnson, again, I'm from Chicago. What a clown, what a fool. Oh, and I have something to tell you guys. I was actually looking up some laws, and actually through Google. And if it's right, it's telling us that you can oust a mayor in the United States. What you need, I believe it was 200,000 signatures, and of course somebody else to run. Now we need a Republican to run in Chicago. And as long as they don't fix those voting boxes, which I know are flawed, because in 2 previous elections in my lifetime, and I've only voted probably maybe 5 times in my lifetime, those voting boxes were rigged, because I would press the person that I wanted, and the other opponent would show up. The other candidate would show up, and it would accept them, and it would not, for nothing in the world, accept mine. Those are called the old Black Dominion boxes, which they were supposed to have gotten rid of a long time ago, but in Chicago, they continue to use them. So the previous 2 elections, I didn't have an issue with, but I know before I did. So that's what I have to say. Thank you. Oh, shoot. I didn't know you can see part of my face. Oh, well. Anyway, thank you, Wise. Love your program. Love your show. God bless you and your family, and all the ARP family.
All righty. Thank you, Carol. All right. Shout out to Carol Reyes. She come through kicking. I did want to add something. I know somebody in the chat had mentioned that the CBP at the pilot started during Trump's first administration. Not accurate. If you go and look at it, it actually started back in October 15, 2012, which would have been during Obama's second administration. And it was really supposed to share entry records between 2 countries, which would have been Mexico and Canada. And obviously, the previous administration used it as a way to expand, this illegal immigration thing that we have going on right now, which is crazy. But I do appreciate the chat, though. Thank you very much. But yeah, that CBP pilot was started actually in 2012. But that's awesome. All righty. Thank you, Carol. I appreciate that, man. Carol came through. That was awesome, man. That was really good. That was really good. All righty. And with that being said, we're going to get up out of here, man. I appreciate you guys pulling up. Shout out to everybody that supported the channel financially. Thank you guys very much. Shout out to the guest that pulled up for a brief second. Shout out to Sugar Shane pulling up, and Carol Reyes as well. Hey, if you would like to pull up and speak to me or, to your folks in the chat, man, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. It's okay. I won't bite you. And no one in the chat will make you feel bad either. It's almost like if you can't sing, and you're at church, and if you can't sing, no one's going to boo you if you sing a gospel song, right? Just like at the Apollo, right? If you sing a gospel song at Apollo, no one's going to boo you. And they might not clap for you, and they may not get up and stand, for you, but they're not going to boo you. And yeah, our chat's similar to that, But thank you guys very much, man. Enjoy this Thursday, this Friday Eve. Again, tomorrow, we'll be back at this thing, Lord willing, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. and we'll be back at it again. Angela, enjoy your birthday. Enjoy your birthday. Y'all make sure y'all show Angela some love, and tell your sisters I said hello. Hopefully they'll start supporting us and watching the channel, you know, and checking us out. Come hang out with us from time to time. But Angela, happy birthday to you. Enjoy your day. And, you know, I appreciate all of you guys that pulled up and supported the channel. Shout out to all my ARP family members, all of my blues. Thank you guys very much for keeping things peaceful in the chat. And my dog just came down here. Shakir Aloysius. Hopefully he don't bark. But y'all make sure y'all show Angela some love on the way out. Thank you guys very much, man. Grace and peace to you all. And as always, man, keep God first. Stay prayed up. We will catch up with you all next time. You guys take care. Peace.
We won't stop. I won't quit. Stand for the truth. No counterfeit. Real ones rise. Let the fake ones split. Repent for the lies. Let the dark